Welcome back, fellas,
What's up, boys?
What's happening?
from the Thanksgiving break. Josh, what you looking at over there? Trying to find ways to improve your roster?
No, it's just actually reading Dave's path to the playoff.
Oh, nice. We will get into that. We'll also get into this, but are you worried at all about your path to the playoffs, Josh?
I would say there's a little bit of stress, but I think that's natural.
Sounds like some fear over there.
No, it's not fear. I feel like I've done a pretty good job this year overall with my team. Just have to kind of wait and see how things play out. So, but I like my
Fair.
chances this week.
Well, let's blow through the paperwork real quick, and then we'll get into playoff discussion. So we'll try and do these quick again. Let's say 30 seconds per recap. We'll just go around the three of us and kind of blow through the recap. So, Maresco, if you want to start us off here with the Ryan and I matchup. I don't know if you don't have much information on it or whatever, it's fine.
But... No, I was watching this one to the end. I mean, I think you were too on Monday night, right? So, unfortunate, got the pass in the last drive to put him over the edge. But, I mean, valiant effort to the bitter end for Clark here. I think you're eliminated from the playoffs statistically, right? So, it hurts, but there's always here. And you got some good keepers. I think Dave mentioned that in the path to the playoffs. I think you got some really solid players. And, I mean, that Bucky Irving picking that you got, I'm seeing meme after meme about fantasy owners being happy about that pick. So, but yeah, no, I think Ryan got a win he needed because I think it would have put him on kind of in the same shoes as Josh if he had lost this week against you, right? Win and get in almost. So good win for him. I mean, I think he made some big trades and CD hasn't paid off yet, but who knows? His team is stacked right now. So good win for Ryan.
Yeah. That win actually, I think, was really good for Josh as we go to the next matchup because if Ryan had been a bubble team, their points for aren't close to each other. But
yeah,
I digress. This one, Josh, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the gist of it is like I have a couple good weeks, and I have a really bad week. I feel like that's sort of been on par for me this year, but it's a good win by Dave. Some ways I'm kind of happy for him. I feel like Dave's had an up and down year. Did he have any injuries this year? I feel like
yes, Dave had some huge injuries. Lost Brandon Ayuk for the year. Fun fact, this matchup sucked. Yeah, that's fair, Ben. I think that's fair. That's all we need to say. Josh, if you have one more of these, you are in big trouble for fantasy playoff matchups.
Dave, great win. I'm happy.
I think it was a good win for Dave. I think Dave wishes his team put up more points, right? For that points forward battle. But
correct.
That's true. I'll take this one real quick. Not much to say. I know Josh's single sentence summary about Mitch's team probably holds true here. Not quite close enough to even be in striking distance.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Do you think Mitch breaks our losing record?
Yeah, probably. Who's he playing this week? It's actually playoff specific, isn't it? Is it Ryan? I forget who.
Playing someone good.
We'll look at it.
If he loses this weekend, first week of playoffs, he passes us. So.
He holds the most losses in a row in the league, right? Out on his own.
Yep.
So good win for Matt. Matt's team is coming good right now. I think that he should be encouraged by specifically his receiver output for the most part. And we'll see what happens. But Matt making a good push to get into playoffs. I think he controls his own destiny now with both his points for and his record. So as long as Matt wins, he's in.
Yep.
Do you think Matt wakes up at like 2 a.m. in the morning just to check and see if he's won his fantasy matchup? Just because of the time difference when all the games end?
I bet he wakes up in the morning. It's the first thing he checks, and it sets the tone for his day, which could be good or bad.
That's true.
Oh, man.
Russell will go to you on this one. Unfortunate for Jonesy.
This was a good matchup, unlike Josh's matchup. Both teams putting up points. I was texting Jonesy about our matchup this upcoming week, and he said he went back and forth and pulling Hopkins and Love out of the lineup, and if he had left them in, he would have won the matchup. So But Njoku put up a good fight. I think that pick at the end, if it had been a touchdown, he might have won the game. So kind of went down to the end of the Monday night. And so, but yeah, I mean, Kevin's team on fire. I think that's 8 in a row. He was 1-4. So 8-4. He locked up his playoff spot. He wins. He gets the second spot. So good for him. And his team's cranking at the right time. So see if he can keep that win streak going for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, we need him to keep it up to challenge you in the playoffs. Josh, Dan gets a win.
Yep. RG4 does it again. I would say of all the teams in the league, I think Dan is actually like quietly had one of the best seasons. Just considering all his injuries. Brian Robinson, I feel like he's missed a few games. Puka was out for 7 weeks. He's had other injuries, and Dan's just kind of continued to figure out ways to win. And also, like, I feel like put up points, you know? It's not like cheesy wins. So, good win for him. Tough loss for Natalie. Not sure, what's up with Kyle Pitts putting up that deuce, but
Does it help when your quarterback throws 4 picks?
That's right.
that's
It's the
true.
Kirk Cousins we all know and love.
Yeah.
Speaking of Benjamin, quality win for Ben. Russ, does this go to you or is this me?
That's you.
Oh, well, great for Ben to finally get a win. Puts up points again and is able to outscore Hannah. This, unfortunately, was a phenomenal win for Josh, because if Hannah had won, it would have made Josh's chances of getting the playoffs a little bit narrower, I believe. And now Hannah and Josh facing off for the final matchup. I think Hannah has to win with a significant point differential. So anyway, neither here nor there, but good win for Ben. Ben's team showing out even with the painful CMC injury, where he's out for the year now, or I think he's out for the year, maybe playoffs. But solid performance from Ben's team, and Mr. Taysom Hill also painful. So enough said. Good win. Hannah still has a shot at the playoffs, but it's going to be close. And then rounding it out, we've got a Maresco Micah one. And before we get into the recap here, Maresco, were you at all ever stressed or worried about this, or did you legitimately not care about checking this fantasy matchup this week?
I mean, I was checking it. Was I stressed at all this week? No, not after Thursday. I think Thursday my team put up a good amount of points. So, and all I needed, I think, was 5 points from Josh Allen on Monday night. So Sunday night. So once Josh scored a few points, I was like, okay. I mean, that passing receiving touchdown was pretty sick, because he went from 8 points to 22 points in one play.
That was insane. I would have been so mad if I was playing you.
I was like, I went on, I checked, and then I reloaded my app, and it was like, my point total went up 14 points. I was like, what just happened? So when Chris Collinsworth explained it and compared him to Patrick Mahomes, it was great,
I don't know how else you would score it, but it somehow feels not right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right to me either. I was so confused. But he passed the ball, and someone has to get the receiving touchdown, but he doesn't get the reception. It's just very strange.
Does Cooper get any points for that play?
He gets the reception in
a
yards.
2-yard reception or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
So,
it's weird.
But yeah, I wasn't too worried about it. I mean, Micah put up a valiant effort, but
Clark, do you have the clip?
Which clip? The Josh Allen clip?
No, I just feel like it'd be fitting to play the clip of
That
Maresco
is
saying
true.
he's riding Micah.
I'm gonna ride Micah.
I'm gonna ride Micah.
I'm gonna ride Micah. I'm gonna ride Micah. I'm gonna ride Micah. I'm gonna ride Micah. I'm gonna ride Micah. I can just say it if you guys want me to.
I think that's enough. We need to pull up the clip of all the different languages. That does round out the matchups for the week. I will say, among most of the matchups outside a couple, it was relatively close, like across the board. I don't know what like the lowest, point difference between each team, but like most of the matchups were at least somewhat competitive throughout the week. But neither here nor there. I don't know if we did. Did we do Fab last week? As an aside, I couldn't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think we did a Fab category.
Do we not?
No, we didn't.
We may have. I don't remember. I didn't look back at it, but yes, correct, Ben. I think the main thing that we have to talk about is just path to the playoffs and kind of how things are laid out right now, and who's looking good and who's looking a little bit more rough. So Dave sent something out to the league earlier, which is, the statistical probabilities of the playoffs and everything like that. Right now, this is our current standings. Only people that have technically clinched are Dan, Weggy, and Moresco currently, if I'm reading that right. And then there's a chunk of, or has Ryan clinched?
He hasn't clinched, but he has to be outscored by like 200 points.
Yeah, there's no way that everyone below him is going to end up outscoring him, right?
I don't think so. I mean, it would take a lot.
Jonesy and Matt would have to have huge, huge weeks, as would Hannah, really.
I think, Moresco, I think you're going to lose the points title this year to Ryan.
Yeah, I think I am too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, this week, I'll be lucky to put up 100 points.
Yeah, there we go. Dave chiming in for the win. 200 points up. So Ryan's effectively clinched. Not outside the realm of possibility, but he has effectively clinched.
Yeah.
And points title only goes through this upcoming week, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't continue after that. So,
Right.
yeah, with the buys that you have, it very well could get pulled to Ryan. I think on the bubble teams are probably the ones that are the most interesting. Moresco, if you had to pick right now who you think is going to end up in the playoffs and where you think it's going to kind of come out of this upcoming week, what would you say?
I need to look at the matchups again.
Yeah, let me pull them up on the other side.
I know
because those are going to be
Josh
pretty
and
key
Hannah's
this
matchup.
week.
I don't know who Matt's playing.
So here's the matchups for this week. Ben and I, not going to matter at all, right? David and Micah could matter. Matt and Natalie could matter. Weggy Dan's not going to matter. Obviously, the big one is Josh and Hannah. You and Jonesy will matter for Jonesy, and Ryan for Mitch will matter for Ryan. But just for seeding.
Yeah, I think Matt's in the clear. I think Matt gets a spot. I think he's going to win this week. And then I honestly think it's going to be both Josh and Hannah. I think Hannah's going to beat Josh, but Josh is going to get in with points at the end. Actually, wait. Where's Jonesy fall into this?
Jonesy has more points
Well,
than
so
I do, I think.
I was going to say if Josh wins, he stays
in.
in on record, right? Because he'd be 9-5. And Hannah would stay out because she would then be 7-7. So there's no way Hannah would get in, unless she scores a bunch more points somehow than Jonesy, which isn't going to happen.
Well, I think so. I
So
think
if
Matt's
Hannah
getting in. I
loses-
think Jonesy gets in because I think Jonesy's going to beat me this week. Then it comes down to Hannah and Josh's matchup straight up.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
So
got to beat me and score. I think Dave mentioned
more
it
than
there.
12 points.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Which is not, honestly, that's not a lot.
Yeah, so if Jonesy and Matt control their own destiny, right? So do you, Josh. Actually, if Hannah just wins, but by a point differential. I see. Okay.
Yep. So the scary part is Hannah Saquon plays North Carolina this week. So, and the first, I think Hannah and I, did we play? I think we played week 1 and Saquon put up like 36. I somehow still won, but I feel like Hannah was dealing with injuries at that point already for some reason or something.
As of right now, I think Yahoo has projected currently for her to win by 10 points, which would not be enough for her to win, right? She's also got a new 49er back to see how that plays into things or not.
Yep.
Do you have some buys, Josh?
No
That's
buys.
Bo Nix.
Or yes. Sorry. Bo Nix.
Why is your team projected so few points?
Probably because of Levis.
Yeah, I think your matchup, Josh, might depend on the Levis Ridley stack. I think you and I don't know if that's an encouraging thing for you, but you might be ride or dying with that right
I
there.
mean, the Jaguars is the best matchup basically for quarterbacks. So in some
That's
ways,
what
like
I thought this last week, and then CJ Stroud was terrible.
yeah, that's true. And Will Levis actually has been playing actually pretty decent the past few weeks. So we'll see. I feel like I kind of have to take a risk.
So you're benching Brian Thomas?
Yeah. I mean, I've had Brian Thomas on the bench for I want to say four weeks now.
Brees
So-
Hall, you're going to keep on riding with Brees Hall?
I don't really have a choice. I have to. Look at my bench.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Micah refused to entertain trades for Braylon Allen all season long. I even offered him like decent picks, and he just was like, nope.
Hmm.
Dave says Braylon's really good, so I'm gonna keep him.
Clark, what would you say, people wise?
So if we go back to the playoff picture, and who's going to make it in or not, I think let's look at this. I think Matt wins. I think Matt's fine. Matt also has a pretty decent points forward advantage for most of the people that he'd be playing against. So I think Matt's probably in. I hope I'm not jinxing him. I think Josh, I think you're going to miss the playoffs. And I'm not saying that because I want it to happen, but I think Hannah's team could. Well, part of me wants it to happen. Let's be honest. But I think Hannah's team will probably get the win, and then it's going to come down to the point differential, which I don't know. Josh, your matchup's tricky because you could put up like 140 points, or you could put up like 40 points, and
That's been my team.
we'll
this
see.
year.
Aside from that, I unfortunately don't think Dave's going to do it because Dave needs like every eventuality to win. So I think Josh falls out. Matt, Jonesy, and Hannah stay in. That would be my guess as of right now. Which means I don't know what that does for matchups in week one, which we could look at, but that's what I would think. Josh,
Yeah.
what do you
It's
think?
crazy to think that possibly like one or two 8-6 teams might not get into the playoffs, like based on record.
Oh, let's pause for a second here, Josh. I'm going to solo you on the screen.
Hey, Jack. I just read Ben's note. What's up, dude? How are you? Getting a lot of snow? Looked super nice past couple days. All that snow on the ground, buddy. Hope you're having a good time.
We'll now resume our regularly scheduled programming. You were saying that it's crazy.
No, it's crazy to think that like a couple 8-6 teams might not get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it kind of shows that like the mid tier is like stacked, right? There's a lot of those
Yeah.
teams, but then it also shows like you kind of need 3 or 4 teams that are only have 6, 7, 8 wins together
Yeah.
to get to those records.
Yep.
Talking about Ben being 3-10.
Oh,
And Micah.
oh man. Yeah. So I think Clark, you asked what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I have confidence in my team. I think I'm going to be able to pull it off, but I think it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to probably suck the life out of me. I don't.
mean, you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say you are the most safe, kind of. Like you'd have to lose. You could lose and still make it in. You could lose
Yeah.
by over 12 points and still make it in. So
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, my initial thoughts, like I go back to those there's I think 2 other weeks where I scored like 60 some points, right? Like I wish, just scored more points that week. Even if it resulted in a loss, I would have rather scored, more to kind of give myself that buffer at this point in the season. Because I do feel like Hannah's team is really good right now. And that waiver wire pickup, dropping 100, what was it, 103, 105 fab or something?
All of it, I think.
All of it, yeah. So I think I will get in. I think Matt will get in. So that would be 6, right? So it'd be
Oh yeah,
Hannah,
sorry, I can bring this
Hannah or
back up.
Jonesy.
So if you stay in, Matt stays in. That's the top 6 currently.
Yeah.
So it just leaves that 7 position for the most part available between Jonesy, Dave, and Hannah.
Yeah.
So the only way Dave's in is if I beat Jonesy, Hannah loses, and he wins, right?
He has to win, and Hannah, yeah, he's got to have like everything go right.
So
Dave-
if I beat Jonesy, you beat Hannah, and he wins, he's in.
He needs
Or Matt
either.
lose.
He needs
Yeah,
2
two
of
of
the
those
3 to lose. Yes.
And I don't see Matt losing, so he really needs me and Jonesy Joshy to step up this week for him. Can we do that for the commish?
No.
Come on, Josh.
Remember, Josh said on the show like last week that he wants Dave out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I want as many Deans out of the playoffs as possible. I stand by that.
No, I'm rooting against you. I hope you lose.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hope
I mean-
someone else loses and Dave still gets in and you miss it.
You're not
Is
going to
there
win this
is there
year.
a scenario
you
in
do
which
realize that, right?
I'm not going to win this year?
You're not winning this year.
I know Ben's tried to jinx me about 500 times, but
No. I think Kevin or Ryan is probably going to pull it off.
I don't know?
The 2 week-
Ryan's team has looked a little shaky recently.
It has, but I think he's got some good pieces. Moresco doesn't have a great playoff schedule, I feel like, for some of his players.
how do you even know that? I haven't even looked at that yet.
Josh looked at this weeks ago, Maresca. For months, he's been planning how to beat
He's
you in the
checking my
playoffs.
team's matchups for playoffs. I haven't even
The
checked the
waiver wire
next.
pickup
Josh, you want to know
Josh
something
made
crazy? I haven't
2
even
months
checked.
ago.
I haven't even checked the next 2 weeks schedules for my players because I'm on a 2-week bye right now. Josh, go win
Okay.
your game.
I'm focused on winning my game.
Stop focusing on my players. Focus on your own.
Well, to be honest,
I'd like to point out that I'm also on a 2-week bye. Actually, probably like a 3 or 4 week bye until the toilet bowl rolls around. So,
You won't be in the toilet bowl.
no.
We all
What
know
were you
you're
gonna say,
in the
Josh?
toilet bowl.
well, I was gonna say I got my information from another league manager was looking at your roster and gave me that info, and it's a credible source. He knows.
Week 16. Do you want to know my matchups? They look stellar. I have
Oh.
Buffalo. I have Buffalo versus New England. I have Detroit versus Chicago. I have the Packers versus New Orleans. I have the Chiefs versus. I'm not even going to start the Chiefs. I don't know why I'm saying that. Miami against San
Chicago
Fran.
is one of the best against the pass right now.
I was gonna say, I don't know if
against the
Detroit
run.
versus Chicago is a great thing. Chicago, they almost just lost to Chicago.
Yeah, but
Chicago's- yeah.
Amon will be on a revenge tour.
You
We
know,
all know
he's only had more than 8 targets twice this year.
He still scores like crazy though.
Come fantasy playoff times, he knows when to peak.
I just think he's hurt.
I think that honestly depends on what happens with the Eagles a little bit. Like if Detroit and Philadelphia are both still vying for the number 1 NFC spot, that I think will dictate how much the Lions rest people or don't.
Now I will say Baltimore against Pittsburgh, not a great matchup.
Whoa!
My trade for Bijan.
You try to trade for Bijan?
I don't remember. Did I?
You tell us.
I honestly don't think I ever offered Ben a trade this season, but maybe I did.
I don't think Maresco's been paying much attention to fantasy this year. He just checks his phone on Monday. He's like, oh, another win. Great. Onwards.
I was thinking about it earlier. Like this is the first week I've had to take a bunch of people out of my roster, right? I don't have a great bench. So like one of the things I haven't had to do this year is like when Jonesy was texting me, he overmanaged and he pulled 2 players. I haven't had to do that this year because I only have a stellar like starting lineup. I never have to like think about which players I'm starting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's just like my set roster. So
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, many would argue that's the better way to play fantasy in some ways. You just ride and die by the guys you have. You also have like the 3rd fewest points against, I think. So
I think it's 4th, but maybe 3rd.
4th, 3rd. Let's see.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's 4th, I think, or 3rd. Doesn't matter too much. It's low.
So you want me out of the playoffs, Mariska?
I would love to see you out of the playoffs, but I would also love to see you in the playoffs and crush your dreams in the semifinals. So
Yeah.
either one works. Either one works for me.
Just do me a fave. Actually, no, I don't want to.
No. What's the fave you want?
Just beat Jonesy for me, just in case.
Why do you want I want Jonesy in the playoffs.
No, well, I want to get in the playoffs. I want to play Maresca again.
Hey, Josh,
this goes back.
Josh, this goes back to your last week's conversation. What if I don't want you in the playoffs? What if my seeding is already set, so I don't need to worry about it? What if I just let Jonesy run over me and destroy me this week?
Yeah,
Maresco, I think you should do a true rest your players. Put everyone on the bench. Let them get their rest in before you need them.
No, to be quite honest, I would support you in that.
Would you?
I would. Yeah.
Right after begging me to beat Josh?
Yeah.
I mean Jonesy, not Josh.
If you felt like I was like a threat, which you probably don't think that, but if you did, I could see you'd be like, yeah, I don't want Josh in the playoffs.
That thought hasn't crossed my mind once.
Okay,
I just don't want you. I just don't want you in the playoffs.
Okay. Fine. That's fine. I accept that.
Now, if you are in the playoffs, I hope it's on my side of the bracket.
Me too. I would love a rematch.
And right now you are. So if you win, you probably will stay on that side of the bracket.
Good.
But you got to get through Ryan. You got to get through Ryan first.
Yeah. If it started today, you would end up playing winner of Ryan Josh.
I think so what is it? Weggy, it'll be interesting because I don't think we talked about it. Weggy and Dan play. So they're fighting for 2. The 2
But
seed.
it almost doesn't matter because whoever ends 2-3, they're both going to be in the same like opposite Maresca side of the bracket, right?
Yep.
I mean, it matters on if you want.
It matters because if Ryan wins, Ryan's going to take one of the 2 or 3
So,
spots.
So if I was able to win, and Dan loses to Kevin, I think I would end up playing Dan first round because Ryan would slide up because I think he's got.
You're going to play you if Ryan wins, you'll play the loser of, and you win, you'll play the loser of the Dan Kevin matchup.
Yeah.
I think all this is summaries and then what ifs. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting week for sure. I mean,
yeah.
Whatever happens, happens. It's been a good season, though. Probably, Clark, you may not feel that way, which is understandable. But.
I mean, I'm used to it at this point. It's frustrating that my last 2 weeks, which would have put me on the bubble for making the playoffs, I lost close games to Ryan and to Matt. And I could have. I guaranteed a victory in one of those, which backfired. And then lost a close one to Ryan when I could have won. So, and I think I would have beat both of, or at least one of each of you, both those weeks. So, 'tis what it is. Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess the moral of the conversation there is draft better.
I don't know if it's draft better. I mean, we could get back into the fantasy strategy luck situation, but I don't even know if we put anything on this last week, but here's how our picks ended up. Everyone doing remarkably positive. Maresco with a solid 6-1 because he didn't pick me, and Ben with a solid 6-1 because he was the only one that picked himself over Hannah. I'm 5-2. I don't know why I put mine at 6-1, but
Ugh,
Rough week, Josh.
yeah,
You tied David, and it's pretty bad.
it's pretty bad. And I lost to him.
What's the do you have the overalls for the season or no?
no, I'll put them together next week. I don't have them all tracked because we switched to doing the forms thing
True.
mid-year.
Maresco's leading.
Yeah, he was. You definitely were by the time at the time when we switched, and I don't think you've done badly enough. No 0-7 weeks or anything like that.
Only
so-
Ben. Good
so
work,
far.
Ben.
So far. I don't know if you guys want to wager Fab this week on picks or not. It's not. I don't really. I think I maybe have $2, so I don't think I can really wager much of anything on Fab if we were to do that.
I'll wager $1 or $2.
Do we want to do the Fab spinner wheel, or do we say that that's out at this point?
I'm kind
I
of over the spinner wheel though.
People need Fab, so we could just come up with a category and just say what it is instead of spinning.
Oh,
That's
do we
fair.
want to talk about? You know what? Maybe we should do the spinner wheel for Dan this week. Something related to his $17 Fab
Oh,
drop
yes.
for.
Oh, we
kicker
should
who
go through
got
the
hurt.
waiver wire pickups. This week was the craziest one in a while.
Yeah.
I did preemptively. I was looking at this earlier. These are all of Dan's pickups this year. It was also pretty entertaining to see that he's already dropped Evan McPherson as an aside.
I'm curious as to why he spent $17 on Evan McPherson.
I don't. Yeah, it would be nice to get Dan on just to kind of get an explanation for that. You think
Do
there
we
was
think it
gonna
was a
be-
fat fingering or a bet?
No, I think he legitimately thought there was going to be a bidding war for Evan McPherson. It's just,
Yeah, but we can look at. So this was Dan's throughout the year. Nothing crazy. Aside from that, definitely
I think he
both
just
of
had
the week
extra money.
qualifying.
yeah, true.
Oh, I thought I put $1 on Cincinnati. I can't believe I didn't do that.
To be
Oh,
honest,
well.
I had $5 on him, but then I just put it all to Isaac because this was my thinking. Josh had $42 and I had 43, and I figured Josh might do 42, and I just didn't want Josh to have him, so I put 43 on.
Oh,
It's funny because it's like you're not threatened by me, but yet you still seem to be infatuated with me.
Oh no,
in a sense.
I like watching your constant downfall. That's all.
Yeah.
you see David's thing, by the way. We don't do Fab in the playoffs, so I think this would be the last week to do a Fab category for someone to win. Then.
Okay.
So
I think Clark, you only have $2. I think Maresco and I should do a big, like $20 or $30 Fab thing.
why stop at 30? I think it should be 40.
No. Because going
What
into
do you,
40?
what do you want to bet, Josh?
I don't know. What do you
I
want?
I think a bet should be
I have
made
half
about
my
whether or
team
not
on
Josh
bye.
makes the playoffs.
Do I have that much faith in Hannah? No, I don't.
What do you need Fab for the rest of the year?
You never know when another 2 starting running backs go out for a team.
Yeah, that is the thing. Okay, so maybe that's a bad idea.
Now, if
Yes,
I had my
I'm a little
full,
scared.
if there was more going on with my team this week, I would do something, but I'm not going to wager anything on my
Bet
team.
on
this week.
Josh making the playoffs. That's what Dave
Yeah, come on.
says.
Everyone wants to see it.
I'll put $10 on Fab on Hannah beating you by more than 12 points.
Okay.
Hannah, don't let me down.
Josh, are you doing that?
Yeah, I'll
Do you
match it.
agree? Okay. I'll put $1 down on Josh losing the playoff, and $1 on Hannah. Cover my losses.
I'm calling my shot. Calvin Ridley and Will Levis are getting me into the playoffs this year. That's my bold proclamation this
It's a
evening.
sad statement right there.
No, it's not. It's actually kind of fun. It's exhilarating. You just get quiet all of a sudden.
I can't tell if Clark's yawning or sneezing. That
Yawning. Sorry. Pardon me.
was a big
Mm.
yawn.
All right. We're at 36 minutes here. Don't have much to cover. Anything else y'all want to discuss? I say we just do picks offline, unless this one could be an interesting one to go through picks, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like we need to do picks.
Just rush through it.
Do we have the form?
Yeah.
Josh did it earlier.
I feel like I need to change my team picture and name to something Will Levis.
All right, it's been sent out.
This is Ridley's revenge game against the Jaguars.
Keep telling yourself that, Josh.
Will.
Keep believing.
Always.
We can start with a matchup for pride between Ben and myself.
Big match.
I'm going with me.
You going with you?
I'm going with me.
Wow, that's bold. I'm going to go with you as well.
I'm also going, Clark.
Love to see it. Now we get into the matchups that matter a little bit more. I'm going to go with Dave on this one.
Dave.
Make it a clean sweep.
Everyone for Dave. Still a matchup that matters a little bit more. I know that I know that Natalie has a number of people on bye, but it is pretty funny that Yahoo's already got this as a 95 to 5% probability for Matt.
Wow.
Did Parker Romo get cut already?
Wasn't he a fill-in? They might have brought someone back. Who knows?
Oof.
I'm going Matt though.
Yeah, I think this is
I
full
think we're all
sweep,
picking
right?
the same thing here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, Ben, the coin kind of did die when we switched to the pick'em format because there's not a person to answer for the coin. So I will go through and flip a coin for all the matchups when we do the season totals to see how the coin performed compared to us. But for the purposes of this, the coin is dead.
Yeah,
All
except Dave, you don't have CD anymore.
That's right. CD's gone.
Oh, and he left out Did he include Johnson in there? Deontay Johnson, who's irrelevant now, suspended for
Deontay Johnson
not
doesn't
checking
play
into the
football
game.
anymore, right?
Is that why he didn't go in the game?
Yeah, he refused to check into the game, so that's why he got suspended.
That's so sad. So he's washed as a football player. You're not even good enough to make it into the Ravens receiving core. Like, come on.
Yeah, I saw some tweet that was talking about how good of a coach Mike Tomlin is because he's dealt with all these guys who've had issues, whether it's AB, Deontay Johnson, just a couple other players he's had to deal with.
Le'Veon Bell.
So yeah,
Claypool,
right? Like just knucklehead.
Juju to an extent.
Juju, yeah.
Juju blew up pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm going Weggy in this matchup, though.
Are the Redskins on bye this week? Ooh, that
Weggy.
sucks.
I'm going Wags.
Yeah, Kev.
We also saw what Kirk Cousins did last week, so
Dan's banking on
Don't-
revenge.
don't expect much
Cousins against
out of the
Minnesota.
Minnesota game.
Ooh, big one here.
Big game here. Maresco, what's your analysis of this one?
I think the projection should be 109.82 to 97.70 because I think that's going to be the final score right there. I think Hannah squeaks it out by 12.2 points.
If you
And I
get
am going with Hannah.
if you get the points right exactly, I will give you all my fab.
Sweet. 12.2 points. Come on, Hannah. I need
I'm
that
also
80
going with
fab.
Hannah. I
right.
hope it's the slimmest 12-point victory in the history of our league.
Are there any
Interesting.
good Sunday or Monday night parts of this game? Or is this going to be decided?
Mm,
She has Dicker on Sunday night.
I don't
There
think
is
there's
a-
any Monday. Are there even Monday night football games this week?
I don't know. I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
I know it
Yeah,
comes down to
Cincinnati
Sunday
at
night.
Dallas.
Okay.
Chargers Chiefs on Sunday night.
That should be a fun one.
Oh, you got McConkey Sunday night too, so it could come down to Dicker versus McConkey.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going with myself. So
This is really interesting. I picked Hannah. I already picked Hannah. But yeah, you're going with yourself, Joshy.
yep.
Playoff implications
Lucky
here.
brother.
I'm going Jonesy.
I am going with an upset pick. Moresco over Jonesy.
An 11-2 upset pick.
I mean, considering how many players Moresco has on bye, and like that it's Derrick Henry and
Ray Davis about to
Ramondre.
blow up this game. Sorry, my dog is having a nightmare right behind me. I am going. I'm going to go Jonesy.
Interesting.
It's the first time I picked against myself this year, boys.
Is it really?
You're a coward.
So I know Mitch has not updated his lineup here. He's got a couple buys.
They're
But Ryan is still
they're both
projected
missing
to
2
win.
players.
Ryan is still projected to win by 20 points with both of them having 2 players out. One of which is a quarterback.
I'm going Ryan.
Ryan for sure.
Now, here's the thing. What if Chicago has the game of their lives against San Francisco? No, I'm going Ryan.
San Francisco is getting a couple defensive players back, I think, this week. So
Yeah, no, it's Mitch's tying our record and then breaking it the next week. So, Josh, what do you think about Mitch's team this year?
sucks.
What do you think about Ben's team this year?
I thought his team was all right. It's just some bad luck.
What about Micah's team?
Sucks.
What about Clark's team here?
It's a pretty good team.
Wow, okay.
Just didn't happen.
Oh, missing 1 5-8 team. Who is it?
What
do you think about
18,
Nat's team?
Natalie?
She had a bunch of injuries this year.
She
didn't
did.
she? Yeah.
A lot of people in the league that are like on the bubble had to deal with significant injuries. Myself, David, Natalie, who else is kind of floating there. I know Jonesy's had some up and down with both trades and injuries. Ben, obviously.
Honestly,
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
2 teams under 1,200 points are the ones that Josh said suck. So,
Yeah.
I do hate the Bears. Yes, David, but I love Chicago with all my heart.
well, good luck, Josh. You're the only one that's sweating on this call, so
I feel pretty calm right now.
don't be too depressed when you lose by 12.2 points. If you need me to come over and have a glass of whiskey with you,
You can drive 2 hours.
I'll think about it.
That is a hard no.
I think Clark could get here faster by hopping on a plane.
I don't think you're 2 hours. I think it would probably take an hour and a half to get to you. Back roads.
Yeah.
Backroads.
15. We'll go through Leesburg.
Backroads just make everything faster.
Leesburg's a good route. It's a nice scenic route.
No, but it's a nice drive. So
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's just going to be at like 11 o'clock at night on Sunday. So
Oof. Yeah, I'm actually I'm probably not gonna be watching like any football this weekend because we have some family coming into town. So I told Kristen, I was like, that's kind of an unfortunate timing, but more important things in life than football.
I'll give you some updates when you're losing.
I would appreciate updates. Thank you.
I did want to mention, I'm sure we'll make fresh picks next week going into the playoffs. But this was our Toilet Bowl and champion picks post-draft before the season started. And I hate to admit it, but Maresco's looks pretty solid at the moment.
Damn it! I need Josh to make the playoffs now. Josh, win.
Okay.
But you need Josh to make the playoffs and be on the opposite side of the bracket from you as well.
Oh, so I need him to lose by less than 12 points.
Wow.
Drop down a spot. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But and honestly, I don't think there's any chance that Ben makes the Toilet Bowl, quite frankly.
Clark,
But
our toilet ball picks were not accurate.
no, they're really bad. I don't. It's not possible for my Toilet Bowl picks to be correct or yours. The picker wheel was very wrong on the championship contenders, as was it
wow.
with Toilet Bowls. Yeah. Ben Maresco is the only one that can technically still get this 100% right.
Wow.
oh yeah, that is true. Yeah.
What is with this guy?
That's true. That is kind of weird. Well, we know you don't want to be picked by the picker wheel moving forward, so
That's true.
It's true.
it's a little bit of a curse.
That is true.
Oh, Clark, congrats on winning again in Survivor. You and I pulled it
Oh
out
yeah,
again.
we're both still alive, right? We're like a week away
Alive.
from having to make multiple picks.
I almost lost it. I picked the Bucks this past week and came down to the wire there.
To be fair, that's the real championship. This rocket in your base nonsense, like secondary.
It's true. It's true. So, best of luck on this next week.
Best of luck this upcoming week. Do you have anyone interesting left? I feel like I'm kind of scraping the mid-tier teams right now.
Oh, I have many interesting teams left. I've saved all my most of the best for last.
Let's see, what do I have?
You guys want to share who you're going to pick right here? Right
Oh
now?
yeah. I'll do that. Why not? Who does Josh need to play really well? The Titans. Should I pick the Jaguars just out of spite to Josh's fantasy team?
Do it.
That'd be a bold pick.
I'm picking
Well, Titans suck too, so
Pittsburgh to beat the Browns this week.
Ooh, I have 3 picks that I feel pretty comfortable with. I could either take the Vikings over the Falcons, I could take the Steelers over the Browns, or if I wanted like a guaranteed victory, which maybe I shouldn't say, but Eagles Panthers.
I take the
Nice.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh just lost to the Browns.
They did,
They did.
but it was close, and the weather conditions didn't help. So
I also think Kirk Cousins' revenge game against the Vikings is a trap game.
There's no way. Kirk Cousins, did you watch that game on Sunday? He looked
Yeah, but-
so bad. He was throwing the ball like rookie Eli Manning, just like lobbing it out on screens.
The Vikings are the luckiest 10-2 team out there right now. So
it's true.
Better than the Packers.
I've still got the Bills, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the
I have
Lions.
the Chiefs. I don't have the Bills or the Lions.
I still have the Lions.
I don't know if the 49ers is that safe of a survivor team these days.
Well, I mean, after this week, I've already picked Pittsburgh. I've only got 4 more weeks. I feel like San Francisco.
It's 4 more weeks, but next week we start having to picking 2 teams, and we can't use
That's
teams.
Right.
We can't use teams we've already used. It doesn't reset.
Good point.
has anyone ever made it all the way to the end in our league?
I want to say Matt was close one time, but I'm not sure. That's totally anecdotal.
Ooh, yeah. So maybe I should pick the Titans this week. I'm gonna pick the
You want to
Titans.
stick with your confidence?
Yeah, I am. We'll roll with that.
Alrighty. Well, on that note, best of luck, everyone, in the playoff matchups that are significant. I guess we didn't do a fab category. Maybe we'll just come up with one and throw it out there and rock it in your base. So the last week of fab can still be awarded to someone. But best of luck, Josh. Hold up. We